This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
PNG Council of Churches concern over movement of people. PNG Indonesia Road need more assistance. And PNGDF welcomed new Minister for Defense. A very good evening. This is National Emtv News. I'm Louis Maingo. Thank you for joining us. Lack of government services with little to no proper infrastructural developments is a huge factor contributing to people migrating into the city, resulting in overcrowding and lawlessness. This was expressed by the PNG Council of Churches.
Moderator of United Church, Reverend Garo Kilagi, said PNG was once a peaceful country, but this has rapidly changed with lawlessness rising.
At the moment, Port Moresby is overcrowded. We see a lot of movements here and there, and as Chairman has mentioned, previously Port Moresby was one of the peaceful cities. People move freely in the night. Today, that freedom is no longer there.
He confirmed that overcrowding in the city is an issue that leads to so much chaos.
We notice and observe there is overcrowding in the city. Overcrowding contributes to people grabbing land without somebody's permission. And so the recent events we noticed and observed, there is a lot of opportunists taking advantage of this event.
General Secretary of PNG Council of Churches calls on the government to provide basic services into remote areas with equal distribution of funds.
To distribute fair development packages to all the provinces. Right now, only the main centers like Port Moresby, Lane, and Hagen perhaps are developing, but other provinces are developing.
He said this will avoid people migrating into towns and cities.
That way, when development takes place in the provinces and districts, and people will surely move back. They are moving into main centers is in want for luxury they see around Port Moresby.
Esther Gane, National Emtv News.
The former president of Ningerum local level government from the North Flight district of Western Province is seeking assistance from the national and provincial government to complete a road project that will link Indonesia and PNG.
And then it's saying, yeah.
The former president of Ningerum LLG, Kawub Konap, who is currently the contractor of the border road project that will link PNG to Indonesia, said he initiated this project when he was the LLG president. Mr. Konap said this project will be sustaining the future of North Flight district in terms of trade.
So this idea, 2010, I initiated. When I was a councillor, I told the people to vote community to dig the road. And then in 2013, I became council president. And in 2015, I went to Indonesia to meet them to have some kind of understanding so that we can all collaborate and work together to connect PNG-Indonesia road.
The Indonesian government has already built a road to the border at the North Flight district. Mr. Konap said the North Flight DDA has made a commitment to fund the road to the border in 2018.
And I have completed pilot track and doing some maintenance, and it cost me about 3.5 million kina. And overall total kilometers I have completed is 15 kilometers. Indonesians are already organized. Processing facilities are already been done, are waiting for PNG to meet up.
The former president mentioned that the Not-Fly DDA initially funded the project with 3.5 million kina.
I'm seeking provincial government, national government to support the Not-Fly DDA and the council Ningrum LG to support that road so that we can complete the road with the other national departments.
The ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to PNG has already visited the project site recently with Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru with the Western Provincial Government teams. Meanwhile, the former president of Ningarum LLG in the Not-Fly district highlighted important opportunities for the people of Western Province if the road is fully operational. Mr. Konap said this project will bring services and opportunities to the people of Western Province.
Provincial government, DDA, provincial government and not national government should see the importance about the struggle that Western Province has been facing. And this is one of the struggle that we have been facing. In 2017, I raised concern about Fly River during the drought. The supply chain has been down. So we see that that road is also important for Not-Fly Western Province. Once we connect Indonesia in terms of supply chain, in terms of technical trade, in the trade, you know about services, training program, whatever. Connecting Indonesia is also one opportunity for people of Western Province.
Governor for West Sepik Province, Tony Wowo, recently made a move to the opposition side. However, today he announced in Vanimo that he will move from middle bench back to the government. He made this announcement in the presence of the Minister for Works and Highways, Solan Mirisim, when both MPs were in Vanimo today to witness the presentation of 2 Isuzu NPR Dynatrucks to the people of Edwagi LLG of the Telefomen district. Minister Mirisim welcomes the decision by Governor Wowo, stating that stability in government is important for service delivery in a province like West Sepik. He stated that to have many leaders from the same province in government will see a total of benefit in terms of service delivery. The Department of Agriculture and Livestock held their second meeting this week at the Gateway Hotel, discussing the restoration of food supply in the nation's capital markets, where the implementation of the National Agriculture Sector Plan was announced. Guest of honor was the newly appointed Agriculture Minister, John Boito.
During the second meeting, Dr. Segi Bang presented the National Agriculture Sector Plan of 2024 to 2033 to achieve the sustainable agriculture development and rural opportunities.
Research is important, and particularly we must have robust data collection.
Throughout the presentation, Dr. Bang outlined the contribution of agriculture to national development, roles of DAL, strategic priorities and targets in MTDP4, current social indicators and agriculture priority in NASP, and its key steps to implement this year. Dr. Bang presented a compiled NASP before the Minister of Agriculture, John Boito, and was pleased to mention that it's awaiting his endorsement and approval.
A lot of work to be done. We'll bring that plan to you, Minister. You can have a look, you can endorse, and then we will go forward. There's a lot of work we need to do to set up those systems and processes.
Upon the completion of the presentation, the Minister John Boito had raised questions.
I understand it has not gone through NEC yet, but when do you think we will get it through to NEC to get it endorsed?
Dr. Bang reverted to the questions asked by the Minister.
Contact with the NEC Secretariat on bringing the agriculture sector plan that you would present it to the next cabinet meeting for approval. It's ready, then we can let you know. You will sign off, Minister, and then we will prepare 40 copies, and then you will, in the next cabinet, hopefully it's next week, we can, you can have it approved by the cabinet.
Claire Mauta, National Emtv News.
During the Department of Agriculture and Livestock second meeting, Minister for Agriculture John Boito questioned why the department had consultants contracted to have the corporate plan established, but not in time.
Following Dr. Segi Bank's PowerPoint presentation, Minister Boito questioned why the DAL corporate plan was not updated or completed before the NASP request to be endorsed.
How long have you been working on corporate plan, and how soon or when will it be finished for us? Because if you don't have corporate plan, how can you implement NASP?
Dr. Bang responds to Minister Boito.
We have engaged 4 consultants since January this year, so they've been on the job for just over 1 month, and they should be ready by the end of March, April. Let's say March. Let's say that by March they should be ready, Minister, on their recommendations on the new corporate plan and restructure, which will be brought to you for your endorsement, Minister.
Minister Boito was skeptical regarding the broad idea of having consultants from outside the department working on the corporate plan for DAL.
Why are we engaging consultants while we have the brains here to do the corporate plan? Yes. And why is it taking too long?
Dr. Bang reverted, explaining why they had outside consultants working on the DAL corporate plan.
They're coming in from a different background, a different exposure. They know of systems that have worked, like in New Zealand or Australia or Fiji. So they come with that background to see what we have and what has been developed by our staff, and to see where we can improve.
Claire Mauta, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. Outgoing Minister for Defense Win Bakri Daki officially handed over the ministerial portfolio to Dr. Billy Joseph, member for Nipa Kutubu Open, as the new Minister for Defense in a ceremony yesterday at Murray Barracks in Port Moresby. The ceremony started off with a general salute at the Murray Barracks Assembly area, where the Defense Forces welcomed the arrival of the outgoing Minister, Win Bakri Daki, and the new Minister for Defense, Dr. Billy Joseph. The program followed through with a media conference where the outgoing minister acknowledged the cooperation and support he received during his term as the Minister for Defense. The outgoing minister urged his successor, Dr. Billy Joseph, to carry on the work he has done in the Defense Force of PNG.
I hope you will carry forward what I have done for this defense and National Disaster Fire Service, National Volunteer Service, Milisum Land Brigade. Thank you very much.
Dr. Billy Joseph, in his remarks, expressed gratitude for the trust placed in him and acknowledged the significant responsibilities that come with the role of Minister for Defense. He pledged to work with the Papua New Guinea Defense Force and other organizations to improve the defense force in the country.
The leadership of the Defense Force for working with him for the 2 years that he was the Defense Minister. And I want to appreciate the Marabe Rosso government, especially the Prime Minister, in his wisdom has decided that there needs to be a change in the leadership of the Defense Force and the ministry. And I am, coming from a medical background, but I know how to manage things, and I believe that we will carry on from where he has left, and for that I will need the support of all of you here this afternoon.
The program ended at the Murray Barracks Officers' Mess with the presence of other bilateral partners. The outgoing minister was presented gifts from the acting chief of defense, Commodore Philip Polewara, and the secretary for defense, John Akipe. Meanwhile, the new Minister for Defense, Dr. Billy Joseph, said that he will address some of the issues in the ministry, including the fire department response time to emergencies.
We want to make sure, especially for fire, that the response time. Every time there's a fire, the fire department, the fire truck, fire engine arrives when everything is benched down. So, that means that there's a sign, symptoms of some major issues there. So we'll definitely make sure that the fire department does its job and they are there on time. Most importantly, to save property, but also save lives. To work with also the ambulance services and police, first aiders. So we need to look at it from a holistic perspective and look at what are the issues that's causing the department to not perform its function as it should.
Several banking and financial institutions in PNG have welcomed the need to collaborate and embrace digital technology. Banking leaders in PNG have stressed how this calls for proper education and awareness for all parties. This was emphasized during the Collaborate to Innovate, Transforming PNG's Banking Landscape Conference at APEC House yesterday.
Banks across PNG are planning to strategically leverage cutting-edge technologies and embrace innovation to enhance a quality banking system for all. This, like all other systems, comes with its fair share of challenges and setbacks to consider, and several banks' leaders have agreed to this. Intellect Executive VP Raju Daryani stated that with a large number of unbanked people in PNG, their system is working towards full inclusivity and easier systems for all Papua New Guineans.
Trying to see how services can be provided without very high cost being levied, so that the banks can, offer these services that are much more easier, in an easier way to customers, and provide a whole breadth of services rather than being able to queue up at banks or anything of that sort. So that's the intent, and that's how we plan to grow this particular market and bring it up into a real digital banking area.
Bringing awareness to this era is key, and FinCorp COO Andrew Bester has more to say on this.
You're consistently looking for resources that can adapt to the new environments that we're moving into. PNG in nature is really short skills, especially on the IT side and more so on the financial services side, which makes it quite challenging.
A sense of trust between banks and expert IT systems is important, and what's even important are the people having faith in where their money goes and how secure that is. CEO for PMBL Michael Van Dorsen stresses further on this.
Delivering what you promise, what you say, making sure your services are actually working. They're not offline, your ATMs or your pay systems are working. That's you've got to be consistently making sure that what you promise the customer has to work, and trust will build over time.
Many Papua New Guineans have access to a smartphone, and this is a key factor driving digital talks. On that note, advisor for Tech Research Asia, Michael Barnes, stated this.
Business leaders understand the need to adapt. The challenge for a lot of organizations is ensuring that IT leaders are ready to drive some of that change, to enable that adaptation.
Francisca Anania, National Emtv News.
Meanwhile, People's Microbank Limited CEO Michael Van Dorsen highlighted the importance of training and engaging employees well.
CEO Dorsen stated that many bank employees and workers perform better when trained well for the job.
The employees that are excited about their job go out of their way to service the customers.
Yep.
The one thing you see time and time again, I've rung the bank up to look for something and they haven't rung me back. And that was 4 weeks ago. That's just unacceptable. So you've got to get the employees engaged and excited.
Dawson stated that having a full system with no proper experts to run it is deemed to fail.
And we've got to get our staff to come on board, and our employees to come on board and be part of that journey. If they're not there, this is not going to work. It will fail. Because we'll get to the end of the day and we'll have everything working, and all the people that we need there, the most important asset of our company, they haven't come with us.
With the digital era becoming an adapting system in the country, Dawson says culture and change will also be a challenge with the type of society PNG is. Therefore, having proper training for employees is vital. Francisca Anania, National Emtv News.
Kundiawa Gembok DDA approved 1 million kina for tertiary students' school assistance for this academic year.
Kundiawa Gembog District Development Authority, under the leadership of Kundiawa Gembog Member and Mining Minister Mugua Dilu, has approved 1 million kina to assist students from its 4 local level governments who are attending various institutions in the country. District Administrator Mr. Alphonse Kawage expressed that paying school fee is a shared responsibility that parents and the DDA can fully participate and address. The focus of the committee is on 3 categories. First being FOD and TVET schools in the province, the second being private institutions around the country, and third being government-recognized education institutions around the country. The committee has been working tirelessly for 3 weeks under the close watch and guidance of respective ward councillors and local level government presidents to identify the concerned students. A total of 1,600 students were selected for this assistance. The committee will be going out starting next week to sort out all fees. Natasha Rovoy, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. PNG Council of Churches calls for all church leaders to come up with ministerial approaches and programs to change the mindset of people. The council believes that the success of the nation is based on the mindset of individuals.
The General Secretary stressed that the decider of the development and civilization of the society is the attitude of the people. He said that disciplinary force is not needed to control people if we are truly a Christian country.
Even if we had a population so high as 10 million people, if our people were truly Christians, we would never need police to take control. So ratio, I don't think ratio would be an issue. This is a clear indication that Papua New Guinea is now a very sick society. We are sick in our mind. The context must challenge the churches to come up with ministerial approaches that can address the mindsets of the people. That's, in a long run, that's what we should do. We should try to look at, see the challenges that face us and address this situation amicably.
He also challenged the Education Department to review the curriculum to address the mindset of young generation.
Christians around the nation and even out there in the Pacific, and all Christian churches to stand together in prayer. I think that's the best and first and foremost thing we can ever do together.
Chairman of PNG Council of Churches appeals to the local level government and the national government to work in collaboration for a positive change in the country.
There's no need to have police everywhere. But if this network, the community governments, and within the community governments, they have their police also there, and they work with the police, our national police, we can do a lot. things can be done easily.
Estagane, National MTV News.
The state team working on the Community Development Agreement, or CDA, for the Pogera project has successfully completed a two-day pre-CDA meeting yesterday in Mount Again. The meeting involved the 25 special mining lease landowner agents and ward councillors of the Pogera rural local level government.
The purpose of the meeting was to provide the state's response to benefits propositions captured in position papers that were proposed by the 25 landowner groups from the Pogera Mine Special Mining Lease, or SML area, which was submitted to the state last year in Alotau and Wabeg. The state has already responded to the position papers from the Enga provincial government. Position papers are documentation that captures landowners, provincial governments and other stakeholders' development aspirations and benefits. Mineral Resources Authority project coordinator for the Pogera project, Joe Kak, said the aim of this series of meetings was to prepare the landowners and stakeholders for the CDA forum. In the meeting, the state provided responses to propositions relating to benefits, including equity, royalties, business development grant and special support grant, among others. The Pogera Landowners Association Chairman Mark Tony Ekapa and Pogera District Administrator Jerry Maku said they are happy with the outcome of the meeting and they are looking forward to the proper CDA negotiations that will take place soon. With the new Pogera project, the government has for the first time included the Pogera Rural LG as a party to the CDA negotiations, something which was not done in the past 30 years of the mine's life. The state team that was involved in the meeting comprised of officers from the Department of Prime Minister and NEC, Commerce and Industry, Treasury, Labour and Employment, Lands and Physical Planning, National Planning and Monitoring, and Mineral Resources Authority. The Pogera mine has 11 million ounces of gold reserves and produces 500,000 ounces of doré and 5% gold concentrate per annum. Under the new agreement, the Pogera mine project is jointly owned by the PNG government and Barrick New Guinea Limited. The PNG government and its partners own 51% equity, while Barrick owns 49%. In the 51% owned by PNG, 36% goes to Kumul Mineral Holdings, 10% goes to the SML landowners, and 5% to Enga provincial government. Edson Kuso, National MTV News.
Moving to overseas news now. The two parties of Pakistan's former prime ministers have both claimed victory in Pakistan's national election, despite no formal results being announced by officials.
Independent candidates backed by jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan have a clear lead so far, according to the official tally. And Khan's party has released an AI-generated message from him claiming a landslide victory. But Nawaz Sharif has declared a win to his supporters, despite also acknowledging his party doesn't have the numbers to form a government. Sharif's party is backed by the nation's powerful military, which is accused of leading a crackdown on his political rivals.
You know, many people call this election a foregone conclusion, an easy win for Nawaz Sharif, a man who's been Prime Minister 3 times before and appeared to have the backing of Pakistan's powerful military. Instead, what we've seen emerge is a powerful cohort, a group of independents mostly backed by Imran Khan and his party PTI, and they've become the single largest group to win seats in this election. Now, it's particularly interesting because of the number of hurdles thrown their way. You know, their charismatic leader, former cricketer Imran Khan, behind bars, sentenced in 3 separate cases and disqualified from running in this election. You know, they were denied the use of their election symbol, the cricket bat, particularly important in a country with such high rates of illiteracy. And the party has claimed that authorities have cracked down on them, banning them from rallies, banning them from putting up posters and forcing them to go underground and fight as independents. You know, this election has been described as one of the least credible in Pakistan's history. And that's because of these mass internet shutdowns, delays in polls and slow results. And it's led to suspicions of vote rigging in favour of parties backed by the military. What we know is that this result was not expected. And it'll be interesting to see what this new cohort does in Parliament. You know, will they work with the new government, or is Pakistan headed towards yet again another period of political instability?
Representatives of United States President Joe Biden have brushed aside criticisms by a report against the president of his conduct and memory while carrying out presidential duties.
This should have been a moment of some relief for Joe Biden after an investigation into how he handled classified documents after leaving the vice presidency found that he shouldn't face any criminal charges. But it's the detail in this report, the language that is used in a lengthy document from a special counsel for the Department of Justice that is causing the president all sorts of political problems. This report makes the claim that Joe Biden would present to a jury as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. It alleges that he couldn't remember in an interview with investigators key dates like the beginning and the end of his vice presidency, or even to within a few years when his son Beau died. Now, it was that assertion that really appeared to upset the president. He held an unexpected evening press conference at the White House last night. He defended his conduct, he defended his memory, and he said that when he was asked about his son, he felt as though it was none of the investigators' business. He has been backed up by some of the members of his administration today, including his Vice President, Kamala Harris.
The way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated, gratuitous. And so I will say that when it comes to the role and responsibility of a prosecutor in a situation like that, we should expect that there would be a higher level of integrity than what we saw.
The special counsel in this case, Robert Hur, was at least at one stage a registered Republican. He was appointed to one of his previous positions by the former President Donald Trump, but he was also chosen by Joe Biden's Attorney General to lead up this inquiry. The president is 81 years old at the moment. He would be 86 by the end of a second term. And so this report is really being used by his political opponents as further ammunition in their argument that he isn't mentally fit to be in the White House. We've heard from Republicans in Congress and also Donald Trump making that claim. Those lines of attack will only be ramped up as we get closer to the presidential election in November.
National Emtv News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The junior basketball camp kicks off today at the Sir John Guy Stadium. It continues for 3 weekends, teaching basic basketball skills to kids aged 15 and below.
Basketball coach Lawrence Lahari emphasizes the importance of training kids at an early age to boost the sport.
Basketball has over the years just sort of dwindled a bit. So what we've done is just really pushed back a bit and said, we need to start from a very early age. So the idea of this junior basketball camp over the next 3 Saturdays is to teach kids from 15 years and younger the basic fundamentals of basketball skills.
Papua New Guinea Sports Foundation President Albert Veratau highlights its role in the Go Rural to Go Global program.
What we've got here is the part of our Go Rural, Go Global strategy, but this is the urban version of the Go Rural, Go Global strategy. The rural version is slightly different because you're playing in the villages. This one, transportation, difficulties of moving around, so we are looking at every Saturdays for our version of the Go Rural, Go Global in the city. So this happened, it is quite funny. I've been wanting nurseries to happen here, and I've been wanting federations to set up nurseries here so that we can facilitate it.
In the under-10 division, Acadia Nape and her elder sister Aurora Nape expressed their thoughts on participating.
Hi, my name is Acacia and this is my big sister Aurora. What we learned today was about dribbling, forward pass and all the other activities. So we did make a few friends, but it's just they're hard to speak and everything else. So
Another thing that we learned was dribbling up and doing the 2 or 3 pivots. And next week we will be doing the shootings.
James Guken, Trukai Sports.
Today, our sports team visited 3 different off-season rugby league, including the Garou and Northwest in the nation's capital.
Garou off-season rugby league game official Salimano says the games are currently in round 9 with A and B grade division fighting for a spot on the ladder. And in the Northwest rugby competition, the games are into round 6 matches and 4 more matches to complete the round games before finals. James Guken, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. Moving to overseas sports now. In cricket, Australia has won the first of 3 T20 international cricket matches against the West Indies by 11 runs in Hobart yesterday.
Captain Mitch Marsh played despite testing positive to COVID-19, but it was David Warner who starred in his 100th T20 international. The veteran opener top scored for the hosts, smashing 70 runs off just 36 deliveries, as Australia posted a total of 7 for 213 to equal the record international T20 score at Bellerive Oval. The Windies were then restricted to 8 for 202, with Australian spin bowler Adam Zampa claiming 3 for 26. The two sides meet again tomorrow in Adelaide, with Australia looking to wrap up the 3-game series.
Yeah, look, it's just pleasing to get the win on the board, but you obviously quite clearly there saw there's a nice wicket to bat on, and you've got to make the most of those ones. They're the ones you don't want to miss out on.
Good to be back with the group.
Yeah, it is. It's great. I feel refreshed. A lot of energy. The guys have told me to settle down a little bit, but yeah, look, I'm pumped. I said I wanted to play the 2020 World Cup and finish there. And
in soccer, Adelaide United have snatched a thrilling point in the Australian National Soccer League competition to secure a 3-all draw against Perth Glory at Eindmar Stadium last night.
The hosts led 2-0 in the first half, but Glory hit the front through Josh Rawlins in the 81st minute. The Reds missed a penalty moments later, but trailing 3-2 deep into stoppage time, 18-year-old defender Pana Kikanaka scored the equaliser in the 98th minute and his first A-League goal.
In basketball, in the Australian National Basketball League, the Brisbane Bullets have stressed Adelaide by 182 points to 84 as they move to 4th place on the ladder.
Nathan Sobey finished with a career-high 37 points in his 261st game. DJ Vasiljevic top-scored for the Sixers on 28 points. The Bullets now need to win their next match to secure a place in the playoffs. Brisbane will snap a 5-year drought if they beat the Breakers in Auckland in next week's final round.
Yeah, I mean, my teammates put the ball in my hands to make plays and set great screens and get me open a lot of the time. So there's a lot of that goes into it. And then obviously what Justin's running, really embracing what he's bringing in for this season.
That ends Trukai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
The weather forecast for Southern Region: Port Moresby City, rain at times. Daru, some showers and possible thunderstorms. Kerma, cloudy with some showers. Alotau, windy with some overnight showers. And Popondetta, some showers with thunderstorms. In Momase Region, Lei City, few showers. Medeng, some showers. Wewak and Vanimo, some showers and thunderstorms. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, showers and thunderstorms. Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, some showers and thunderstorms. Kimbe, showers and thunderstorms. And Buka, some showers and thunderstorms. In the Islands region, Mount Again City, rainy at times, morning fog. Goroka, Bands and Kundiawa, some showers and possible thunderstorms, then morning fog. Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, rain at times, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Saturday, the 10th of February 2024. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.